Security Secretary Kristi Noem getting ready, I believe, to take some questions. But she was talking specifically about the case in Florida with Harjinder Singh, the suspect accused of causing that deadly crash by making an illegal U-turn on Florida's Turnpike, and talking about how that case really was, as we discussed earlier, the impetus for the awareness of this, and that kind of led to this effort and this crackdown when it comes to illegal immigrants with driver's licenses and commercial driver's licenses, and the push to make sure that everyone with CDLs can read road signs in English. So let's go ahead and listen back in.
1,000%. What I would encourage all of you today is to go focus on telling the story of a law enforcement officer. Go thank them for their service. Go support their family members. Be grateful that we have communities that are safe. And spend at least 5 to 10 minutes today thinking, what would you do if we did not have law enforcement officers in our communities and in our states and in our country, keeping us safe? What would this country look like if they didn't get out of bed every day and go to work proud to put on that badge, to put on that uniform, and to go fight to make sure that everybody can live safely and can have a future that they can be proud of in the greatest country that ever existed? So with that, I will open it up to any questions that you may have. Yes. No, we're absolutely not willing to put on pause any work that we will do to keep communities safe. The fact that Governor Pritzker is asking for that is shameful, and I think unfortunate that he doesn't recognize how important the work is that we do to make sure we're bringing criminals to justice and getting them off our streets, especially when we're going to send all of our kiddos out on the streets and going to events and enjoying the holiday season. We want to make sure that they're safe. And if you see, even up here, we have individuals that we've picked up off the streets with our ICE officers and CBP officers that have assault against a child pedophiles, rapes. Those individuals don't deserve to be on our streets, and we're certainly not going to let our kids be victimized by them. According to who? Okay, yep. We absolutely every day are focused on arresting the worst of the worst and those individuals that have been targeted for their criminal activities. But remember, if you come into our country illegally, you are breaking our laws. You are committing a criminal activity. And many times when we're out there on the streets making sure that we're getting these criminals off of our streets and out of our communities, that there are individuals that they are with that we also are making sure that they should be in this country. And if they aren't, then we're making sure that they get their due process and they're removed and returned to their home countries. The one thing I would remind every single person in this country is someone who is here illegally has the opportunity to go home voluntarily. That if they get on the CBP Home app, we will give them $1,000 cash when they get home and buy them a plane ticket to get there, and they will have the opportunity to come back to America the right way. If they wait until we detain them and pick them up off of our streets, they'll never get the chance to come back to the United States of America. Yes. Violent crimes, I can get that for you. I'm not sure we have the statistic on violent crimes, but they're breaking our laws, and if they're here illegally and they have a criminal record as well, all of those individuals will be focused on to remove from our country. Oh, absolutely not. I would say the White House and I am and our leadership team is thrilled with all the work that ICE and Border Patrol are doing to help clean up our streets. In fact, giving people an opportunity to lead is fantastic. Giving people an opportunity to step up and take up on more responsibilities is a wonderful thing that you see happening in this country right now. As you see more and more operations get built out, we're calling on more people to use their skills and their talents to help enforce our laws. So I've read some of the reporting that talks about some dissatisfaction between the entities. It's just absolutely false. In fact, I think it's shameful for individuals to be quoted and used as sources for these news articles without their names being used. If you don't have a source and somebody who's willing to go on the record, then they're simply not telling the truth, and that's where I've seen most of that reporting come from. No, I would say that we actually are using our ICE officers and our CBP officers everywhere. Some of our CBP individuals that have been called to duty have been retired, and they wanted to come back and join the team. I think that's fantastic. Some of these individuals will be deployed to other field offices that weren't as active before, and we need their leadership there. So this is making sure we have the right people in the right seat on the bus to make sure that this bus gets exactly where it's going, and that's a more free America and a safer America. Yes, sir. So I will refer to the operations that are on the ground. Through the 287G program, it allows state law enforcement to do enforcement actions on immigration laws. And so many times these stops are happening at way stations along your freeways and highways, and then those individuals can do traffic enforcement and inspections and then carry out immigration enforcement as well. That's in partnership with our ICE officers and with those under the Department of Homeland Security. And I can let Madison or Todd talk to a little bit more of the details on that if you would like to, and speak to the detention facility.
Yeah, so as far as the 287G program goes, we're able to then partner with the state entity. They're able to go out and conduct arrests in their day-to-day duties. When they come across somebody that is a criminal illegal alien, they're then able to turn them over to our custody. At these way stations, we're able to walk beside these officers and have this joint partnership, thanks to the Indiana State Police, that is a truly historic opportunity for us to do something that we can look at expanding nationwide. And as Governor Braun said, this is really a model that we can use all throughout the country thanks to his leadership and his team's leadership.
What's that? It's in the Midway Blitz operation, which includes Indiana, Chicago, Illinois, and that area that field office is covering. Yes, sir. Okay. No, when you talk about people that have left this country using the CBP Home app, those who voluntarily left, those that we have actively detained and deported, that number is over 2 million people since the Trump administration has come into the White House. That is an incredible, record-shattering number of individuals who were here illegally that are now gone. And when you think about the ripple effects of that, the amount of resources that frees up to focus on the American citizens, it's remarkable the good work that President Trump has been able to do. I would say that by the end of this year, those individuals who have been detained or arrested and deported will be over 600 to 650,000, and then we include many more that are still voluntarily going home on their own as well. No, those that are turned away at the border are not recorded in those that are detained and arrested. You know, the Biden administration, was very corrupt in how they recorded their arrest numbers, and every single person that they interacted with at the border, they counted as an arrest, even though they facilitated them into this country. We aren't doing that. We're being honest with the American people and letting them know the facts of who in this country has been detained and who it is that we're removing back to their home countries. Yes. Well, we're pushing sanctuary states to stop issuing driver's licenses to people who are illegal aliens. Many of them are doing it. In fact, we've seen over a dozen different states that actively hand out driver's licenses to individuals who should never get one. As you know, the Department of Homeland Security is implementing the 20-year-old law that requires a real ID, which requires legal status in this country. It requires you to show where you live and who you are. That real ID is implemented in many states across this country, but some of these sanctuary states, such as California, New York, Illinois, are not doing that, and that's allowing those individuals then who are here illegally to go get licensed and get a commercial driver's license and then get behind a truck like this that soon becomes a weapon if they don't know how to operate it properly. One last question.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, we can get that for you. Those are individuals that have been detained, that we've interacted with, that were here illegally, committed crimes, or had final orders of removal issued against them, and then are in the process of returning back to their home countries. So think of that. Thousands of individuals that were committing crimes, that have broken our laws and come into this country that shouldn't be here, that because of the good work of our law enforcement now will be returned back home to their home countries. And remember, many of these countries are thankful to have them back. Their economies have changed. They have an ability to provide them with training and jobs and housing and are welcoming them home. We have great partnerships internationally with dozens and dozens of countries who are helping us to facilitate this movement back home. So we are grateful for that, but we're going to continue to do the work. If you remember, the last administration has brought in 15 to 20 million illegal people into this country and facilitated an invasion over our southern border that we not only stopped when President Trump came into office, but now we're going to remove those individuals out of our country and make sure that we're putting American citizens first. We will not talk about that. We will keep it going, and we will continue to operate, and we'll continue to do this work until there are no longer anybody out on our roads and in our communities that's here illegally.